What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Blitz Books. Happy Thursday. How's it going, Mike?
Happy Thursday. Wade, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. If you ask me about college football, hey, we were rocking and rolling. Man, just killed it. Final game of the season. Had all kind of winners out there. You had a beautiful look on the
Mhm.
first half. Under easy cash, sweat
Mhm.
free cash. I joined you on that one. And the Canes plus 10 got there too, baby. They gave me a heart
Mhm.
attack giving up that giving it a block punt. But
Mhm.
we got there, closed out a nice college football season. I think around 13 and a half units profits what I ended up. I don't know whether the show was even better than that. I believe it was. And you crushed it all year long, too. So we killed it in that. But man, this is unfortunately the NFL version of Blitz the Books. And we've been struggling lately, Big Way. I don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah, we talked about that a little off air. We've been picking our brains a little bit, but this I think this kind of variance happens every year, as we talked about the early part of the NFL season. We crush it and then kind of tail off there at the end. But we've held strong all year long. We were right there, upper 62% going to the last couple weeks. Really, the last couple weeks in the playoffs has really kind of destroyed us. What we've gone 7-7 or 1-8 in our last 8 picks. So that'll damage all your profits, your hit percentage, and now we have fallen below 50% for the first time in this season. We are now 24-26, so we are officially at 50 picks. We are 48%. Yeah, no, we were above 55, 56% for a long time. We were right around 60% for a really long time. So I think we can get this back. A couple of those games or a couple of those picks, we took a lot of long, bigger shots. You and I both took some heavier touchdown props, and those are
Yeah.
fun. But I think this week we've locked in some pretty good plays. You found some really good value in one of your touchdown props, and I think we can capitalize this week. Let's do a quick rundown of last week, as we always do. Mike gave out R.J. Harvey anytime touchdown minus 115 and the Texans plus 3. I gave out Puka Nakua anytime touchdown and the 49ers plus 7.5. None of those were winners, but we are here to talk about this week, and I am going to kick us off as I'm going to go ahead and give out 3 picks this week.
Yeah.
I believe I've got 3 winners that we can cash in this week for you guys, and Mike's going to give out 2. My first play is going to be Tyler Higbee of the Los Angeles Rams. He is a tight end, and then he's going to go the longest reception over at 10.5 minus 115 over on DraftKings. He has cashed 4 of 5 last season. He's cashed and he cashed 11 and 20 in both of those road games last year. But last season he was cut short with injury. This season he has cashed 5 straight to end the season, cashing 7 of his last 9, 8 of his last 12, 8 of 12 games this season. He's cashed 3 straight on the road. He's cashed 4 of his last 5 on the road, cashing 27 at Chicago, 37 at Carolina, and 15 at San Francisco. He averages 2.4 receptions on 3.7 targets with an average of 15 yards per reception, and he adds 12.2 yards per catch on those receptions. Seattle has recently allowed 16 to Tonjes, 20 to Kittle, 27 to Allen, 16 to Parkinson, and 27 to Ferguson since December 18th. I just think this is a pretty good look if the cornerbacks are going to be locked in on Adams and Nakua. I think the tight ends are going to get some looks in this game, and usually they go for at least more than 10 yards most of the time.
Yeah, I love this play, and I agree with it a lot, actually. Colby Parkinson's gotten most of the love this year, mainly just because
Mm-hmm.
Higbee struggled with injuries. But Higbee,
Yep.
let's not forget, Higbee was the main tight end for a long time. Matthew Stafford still trusts him a ton. I like the look just based on that alone. And it's funny, Big Wade. It's really ironic you picked this here. I was actually studying on Seattle. They're an excellent coverage team as far as against wide receivers. They're not as good against tight ends, though, man. Their safety is just 23rd in coverage rate against tight ends. Linebackers just 21st in coverage rate against the position. So I think you've got a sneaky good matchup there with Higbee. I like it, dude. Yeah, that's a good play.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, let's go now. What is your first play?
Yeah, going back to the well with anytime TDs. I still can't believe RJ
Let's
Harvey
do it.
got like 4 carries around the goal line. I don't know what the
Mm-hmm.
heck that was about right after the Jags had gashed Buffalo on the ground. Sean Payton just decided to just never run the ball. I don't know. It makes plenty of sense, I guess. I don't get it, man. But anyway, I'm over it. I'm over it. Got to move on. I'm going Ramondre Stevenson anytime touchdown, plus 135 right now at Bet Rivers. Just on price alone. You know, I see a lot of books got this plus 110 or plus 115 range. So I got my 20 cents of value that I like to look for on these anytime TDs. And let's be honest, you know, as parents, we say you shouldn't have a favorite kid. You should love them all equally. But Mike Vrabel does not do that with his running backs. He loves Ramondre a whole lot more than he does Travion. I don't know if it's because he's a veteran. Maybe it has something to do with it. But Stevens has really come on of late. Actually, how good? He scored 6 touchdowns his last 5 games overall. I love these threat scores, either rusher or receiver. He's decent out of the backfield catching balls. He was catching passes pretty well, even as Oklahoma days back in the day there, man. Denver does a good job defending the runs. The matchup isn't ideal, but nevertheless, I think he's got better than a 50-50 chance of finding the end zone. So the plus 135 to me is good value. I'm going to put a full unit on it. And let's get on the board, baby. I gotta win. I gotta win one of these here soon. Let's go.
No, I think that's a pretty good look. I think one of the running backs is going to score a touchdown in this game. So I think I love this plus 135 value that you've found it out there on the market. So make sure you guys do shop around for the best line in your state.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir. What else you got on your second play here?
Yeah, I think we're gonna jump. I think we're gonna stay in the same game here.
All right.
And I'm going to give out Sam Darnold to go over 5.5 rushing yards. Best line is plus 105 over at Caesars. So I have not checked some of these other books, but I assume some of those books might be minus money at this point. He's cashed 4 straight against the Rams, hitting 7, 11, 19, and 6. He cashed last year's playoff game versus the Rams with the Vikings, hitting 19. He cashed last year's final game in a must-win game versus the Lions with 10 as well. He's cashed 3 of his last 6 games overall, and he did not need to run last week due to the blowout versus San Francisco. The Rams have allowed 40 to Williams, 24 to Young, and 19 to Brissett in the last 3 weeks. And if they're going to allow 1 rushing yard to old man Kirk Cousins, which actually cashed his over half line, then Darnold should be able to get this done. The last 4 quarterbacks have cashed their line versus the Rams, and I think he's going to be pressured in a spot where he's going to have to run for at least a couple times here, 2 or 3 times. That should be able to add up to 6 yards. Hopefully they don't win and give us the old crucial kneel down that could potentially kill 1 yard in a low yard play here.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, man. Just because we got a tight spread here under a field goal. I think you're on to something here. Sammy D runs more than a lot of people realize. You just don't think of, kind of like a, I wouldn't say he's old, but older, lanky kind of QB. He doesn't have a ton of speed, but he runs more than people think. And especially you've hit on something against the Rams for whatever reason. They've done a good job dialing up pressure against Seattle. Seattle's O line's great at running the ball. I mean, they're good at creating rushing lanes. They're decent at pass protection too, but they rank just 7 or 11, right? Rank just 11 in sack rate allowed. So it's not like they're elite in pass protection.
Correct.
So we've seen it earlier this year. It's a divisional game. I think the Rams know how to get pressure on them. It wouldn't surprise me. Jared Verse cuts through there and makes him have to scramble. Byron Young also could get some pressure on him. I think with just the pressure rate, like you said, could create a couple good scrambles, and that's really all you need. So I don't mind that at all, especially with plus money.
Yeah, and I was going to pull these extra stats up here because I believe. Yeah, it's pulling up here right now. Yeah, last year he cashed this line 72% of the season, 13 of 18 with the Vikings. I know he's ran a little bit more with the Vikings than he has with Seattle and this offense. But like you said, against the Rams, he just has an active run against them, and I think they'd rather him run than find JSN running wide open down the field. So if they can dial up pressure and get him to move, I think that's an optimal goal for them. And as always, if these breakdowns are helping you guys at all, please hit the like, subscribe to our channel, and drop a comment. What is your favorite play this weekend? All right, Mike, what's your final play?
Yeah, I'm doing something a little different here. It's my first ever field goal prop. I had to find something different just to shake things up and get us out of this losing streak. I went Jason Myers over 1.5 field goals. My VIP members got this minus 120 at MGM yesterday. It was available all day yesterday. Of course, not available now. It's up around minus 150, 160 now. I still like it there. I still think it's worth the play. It just mainly was a price buy on my point. That's a good big reason to join VIP is getting the best of the number here. But Rams have a pretty darn good red zone defense here. They rank sixth in that category as far as TD scoring percentage allowed inside the 20. The flip side, Seattle hasn't been too swift with the red zone offense, big way, just 21st in that category. So they settle for a lot of field goals. Myers has gone over this line in 14 of his 18 games so far this season. Seattle's head coach being a little more of a defensive minded guy, I think more likely to settle for a few more field goals than some other coaches out there. See, I just don't see how Myers doesn't get us at least a couple of field goals. He's a wily old veteran. He rarely misses. Like this play quite a bit, even though I'm not too familiar yet with kicking process. Might be something I do next season. We'll see.
Nope, I absolutely love it. We talked about a little off air. That was a market that we targeted really 2 years, the last 2 years before this season. For some reason, this year I just never got onto them, and I think they're a very profitable market, especially if you can find 5 to 6 kickers that you can trust every single week, especially the guys that are in good spots.
Yeah.
I just think this is a really good look. Don't even really want to give away all the secrets, but you like to find offenses that can move the ball and defenses that have a good red zone defense, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that can be a recipe for a lot of kicks, especially in these playoff games with a lot of defense. I think this is a pretty good look, especially in a divisional rival game, third game they're gonna be seeing each other this year. I think this is a really good nab by you. Obviously, you see the line movement, so obviously some other sharps have jumped on. If either that or Publix really jumped onto this play as well. So
Maybe. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, definitely. Always fun to study new markets. So yeah, it's definitely going to be something I study more on in the off season for this year. But yeah, take us home here, man. What do you got here on your?
yeah, we're gonna give out. I am gonna give out my third play here. Usually we just do 2 and 2, but I think I found something else I really liked here, and I think we're gonna go back to Drake May. We gave this out last week and it failed us, so just gonna go right back to it. I'm gonna give
Okay.
out Drake May longest rush over 12.5 yards. You can get that minus 110 over at the score right now. He's cashed 4 of the last 6 weeks. He's got a median of 12 on the year with an average of 13.5. He's cashed 3 of his last 6 on the road and 4 of 8 this season. His over 5.5 rush attempts is also juiced to minus 202. His over 6.5 rushing attempts is right a little over plus money. So I think books are expecting him to run. Allen cashed 26 and Lance cashed 22. So the last two quarterbacks that have faced this Broncos defense have cashed this line. I just think it's going to be too good to pass up here. Yeah, I think I just think Drake May is he's going to have to run the ball. We've seen this Broncos defense. I think they lead the NFL in sacks, more than double digits, more than any other team. So I believe they're going to be able to get some success on the Patriots, even though their offensive line has been pretty good. I think he's going to be forced to run in this game, and I think that's a telltale sign when you see a over 5.5 rushing attempts sitting at over minus 200. I think he's with 6 attempts. I think he's got a good chance to run one for at least 13 yards.
Yeah, Drake's a lot more nimble than people realize too, man. I remember watching him at North Carolina. He can run a little bit, man. He runs some. They had some nice design runs for him then, and
Yeah.
I think Vrabel dials up a few here for him, or I guess Josh McDaniels the one calling the plays there in New England. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see a couple zone reads. Him just takes it outside, busts it outside. You know, so yeah, I like that quite a bit. Just need one. I like that, baby. Just need one good one.
We just need one big one here. So let's go. We'll do a quick rundown and we'll get you guys out of here. I gave out Tyler Higbee, long reception over 10.5 yards, minus 115 over at DK. Mike gave out Ramondre Stevenson, anytime touchdown for the New England Patriots at plus 135. I gave out Sam Darnold over 5.5 rush yards, best line plus 105 over at Caesars. Mike gave out Jason Myers over 1.5 field goals, minus 120. Best line right now, possibly minus 150. Go shop around, still a playable line. And then final play of the day will be Drake May over 12.5 longest rush minus 110 at the score bet. All right, man. Appreciate you doing this. Everybody, appreciate you guys watching. Let's cash these last 5 plays, and then let's I guess we'll be heading into the to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, let's do it, baby.
Have a great one.
Love it.